My name is Jeffery Morris. I run a company called FutureDude Entertainment. We have a number of great graphic novels, mobile device game, animation, feature film, live action, that sort of thing. We're really involved with science fiction and futuristic concepts. So I write, I direct, I design, and very heavily involved in creative endeavors. So.
Well, the project that I got the most excited about was Parallel Man. Can you tell us how that started? Because there's 3 different platforms that they're on, and can you tell us how it started and how it evolved? Sure.
So, Parallel Man, I have a background in science, and I find the concept of parallel universes really intriguing. The whole idea, and there appears to be more and more evidence all the time that we live in a multiverse. It's not just a single universe, but that there could be an infinite number of universes and permutations out there. So the idea that there could be another Earth, many other Earths out there, where things happened a little differently. So what if you could travel between those different dimensions, and what kind of adventure could you have? That's what I wanted to create with Parallel Man. So the idea is, it sort of stemmed from the idea of following the same group of characters, but imagine if you could kind of channel flip with the same characters between different TV shows, almost in a way, right? So the idea with Parallel Man was you have a version of America that instead of creating the atom bomb of World War II, they ended up developing the ability to travel through the multiverse. And that organization ended up becoming very dominant, and they ended up trying to conquer different universes, different versions of America, different Earths. And so what we ended up doing was developing a great comic book series. We did a 7-issue mini-series, and then we also did a mobile device game and animation. And I was lucky enough to be able to work with actors like John Cho, Lance Reddick, Ming-Na Wen, to do voices of my animation for my animated piece. They also did voices in the mobile device game as well, which is cool. So we wanted to launch the Parallel Man project and bring it across different platforms, basically, creatively.
So it started off as comics, so what made you want to do the cartoon?
I always had bigger ambitions with the project, and so I felt that doing animation along with it simultaneously would give people the full sense of what we could do as a team, So I work with a number of animators, I direct as well, so I figured let's put this together and show what we can do. Whereas the animation's about 15 minutes long, I think we did a really nice job on it. But then the comic book series allows you to understand the whole story, right? So my goal is to get somebody to come in and say, all right, I'm going to pay you guys to make more of this.
Well, that was my next question.
Is
there more of this, because it leaves kind of on a cliffhanger?
It does leave on a cliffhanger. Our goal is hopefully within the next couple of years to be making a lot more Parallel Man. We want to do either an animated TV series or an animated feature film. A lot of people see it and think it'd be great for live action too, but right now I think animation's a great place to be because we can do so much with it. So can you talk about the mobile game? What do you get to do in that? Oh yeah, sure. So the mobile device game, basically, there's a car that I designed. We call it the Meta Car, and it hovers and it can change into different modes and that sort of thing. So our decision with this was that we wanted to make a mobile device game where you're playing as that car. It's kind of similar to Jetpack Joyride. So what happens is it's a side-scrolling game, and you basically hop between 7 different universes. And because the story of Parallel Man takes place in Chicago, what we decided to do was create different versions of Chicago. So you've got a frozen Chicago, you've got a dinosaur Chicago, you've got sort of this Blade Runner-esque, we call it China America, this futuristic Chicago. And they have different obstacles and different things that you're dealing with as you go through the game. So it's a really fun game. As a matter of fact, we actually have a contest where whoever has the highest score in the game is going to win an Apple Watch in a week. So we want to put it out there.
I need to play then.
Yeah, I think you need to play it. You need to play it. Check it out. Yeah. So.
Can you give us a little bit? I've seen maybe an episode of Oceanus, but I haven't.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So Oceanus is a live action project we did actually simultaneously with Parallel Man, and Oceanus. The whole goal with that was to develop a futuristic but believable action adventure that took place in the near future. Something kind of similar to Star Trek, but really to set it underwater in this case. So you've got an underwater city and an underwater civilization that's being developed, and then a cataclysm occurs that really cuts those people off from the surface. So that's basically what the story's about. So we follow a married team, husband and wife. I was played by Sharif Atkins, who was in the show White Collar and ER. He's an awesome actor. And Megan Dodds, who was the villain in the movie Ever After, she plays our lead. They just did a fantastic job. So we see it as the beginning of it's going to be a feature film. So what we shot is really the first third of a feature film. and we're going into production early next year on the rest of the movie. So we did it initially as a proof of concept, but it turned out so well we decided to release it as a full movie. So yeah.
And then your last project, Brainstorm?
And Brainstorm was a comic book miniseries we did. It was drawn by Dennis Calero, who drew X-Men Noir and some other great comics. And Dennis, we created something called, Brainstorm is basically about weather manipulation. And it takes place in the near future when global warming's gotten so bad that you've got tornadoes that are just ravaging the Midwest. They've weaponized these nanomachines to destroy the tornadoes, basically. And the head researcher who created the system, it turns out he has imprinted his own consciousness in the system. He doesn't realize it. And so what happens is the storm, when the system is deployed, the storm becomes alive. And it's all about trying to stop the storm, and through he has to face his own personal demons at the same time, stopping the storm, basically. So, and it was kind of a groundbreaking story because we worked with a famous meteorologist, a guy named Paul Douglas, who worked on the movie Twister, Jurassic Park, stuff like that. He was my science advisor on it. And then we also had at an angle, I decided to create a main character who was a closeted homosexual, and that's part of his anger and his background and everything. So part of this is about him dealing with growing up in Wyoming, bullied and things like that. So it's a pretty cool story. So it's we feel that we got a lot of good reviews on it, and it's a very human story. So
which one of your projects, of the three projects, is the most, I guess, advanced concept that you think is really ready for mainstream?
I would say Parallel Man is the one that's really, really ready to go. I mean, we've really taken it as far as we need to show what we can do with it. Whereas Oceanus is still in development. We did a graphic novel for Oceanus as well. So we're moving forward, raising money and building that project. But Parallel Man is just queued up and ready to go. We want to launch that thing right now. So
I have to say it is amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You said you have a background in science. Can you tell me a little bit?
I studied a lot of aerospace and oceanography over the years. I've actually worked with NASA, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I did education and public outreach for them. I created a curriculum back in 2004 called Alpha Prime, which is about traveling to the nearest star, and that sort of thing. So, I've always been interested in a big science aficionado since I was a child, and so really our creative work is about bringing my interest in science and education in the future into a creative and entertaining way, format. So
okay,
yeah, that's basically it.
Is there any last thing you want to say?
No, I just really appreciate all our fans out there. The people, our fan following is exploding. We got a lot of really cool stuff that's happening, and I just say keep watching what we're doing. We want to create intelligent media that's really outside of the mainstream, something that's new. We want to go actually old in a way. I want to go back to that old school, really powerful storytelling, the kind of thing that was done more in the 1960s and 70s, kind of pre-Star Wars, but use today's technology to do it.